Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Welcome, everybody. It is Thursday night yet again. We are live here in the GNN Cantina Happy Hour. We're glad you joined us tonight. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got some Bad Batch going on. We've got Mandalorian going on. It's a great day in the Star Wars universe. I am your host, David. And with me, as always, is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good.
Debbie's always good. Always good.
Not
Also,
always.
yeah. Now, Cam, who is normally with us, has, let's just say Cam's down. We'll let him say that. So he'll be back soon, we hope. But he's not, he nothing bad. Nothing bad. So it's all good. Also with us tonight's John Ambrose. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Oh, can't complain. Can't complain. Had a little family stuff going on. That's why we're just a touch late this evening.
I hear that.
That's okay. We'll get things going. So, Bad Batch Season 2. We're on episode 13, 14.
14.
Ooh. We got 2 episodes left in the season. We finally have a what I would consider a looming menace, a bad guy. Is we haven't really had that this season, but this person that's in charge of the clone prison seems to be the big bad this season. So, what did we think, Debbie?
I liked this episode. I thought it was really good.
It almost started off like I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's another Bad Batch episode without the Bad Batch. Because I think for the first 15, 20 minutes, they weren't there.
Yeah, it started out
Uh-oh.
with I think they were on Balmyra, or
Yeah.
however you say it. My English is not good. But yeah, with the 3 clone prisoners and transporting them to, supposedly nobody knows. But yeah, that was interesting. And I thought it was also interesting that Rex and Echo are working behind the scenes and underground and within the Empire to try and rescue their brothers.
Yeah. And again, God help me for the life of me, because it wasn't, now it's not just the Bad Batch, now it's Rex and Echo as well. They come across the stormtroopers, and these stormtroopers are firing blasters at them, and they are stunning them. And I'm like, shoot them back. They are shooting at you. You shoot them back. Don't stun them. Are you crazy? And you can't tell me that, oh, well, it might be one of their brothers, because they know their brothers are being imprisoned and shipped away.
Well, I mean, there are still clones that are, they're good soldiers and they're following orders, kind of like Crosshair was doing, which, name of the episode is Tipping Point. So
yeah,
I think he's realizing, the Empire's not as good as I thought it was. So
I was a good soldier and I followed orders, but that wasn't.
And he's learning that that's not getting him anywhere.
Yeah. So let's see what else happened in this episode. We had
the creepy Dr. Hemlock's back.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That seems to be the big bad this season.
Is he the guy that was from Clone Wars?
No,
I don't think so.
Oh, I
This is
thought
a new character.
Oh, okay.
So, we've got Omega flying the ship, and that's That was so typical right there, to where it's just like, oh, I'm having fun, and then you've got Echo in the seat next to her going, stop, no.
Yes, the flashbacks of trying to teach your teen how to drive.
Yeah. You're pushing that invisible brake on the passenger side. Stop it! Stop!
I still do that when my kids are driving, although they say they do that to me when I'm driving.
Yeah. It's give and take. But Echo reunites with the clones, and we're starting to get the original Bad Batch back now. I mean, they're not permanent, but I can see. Are we talking about the Mandalorian? No.
Oh my God, John! I seen you post that on Facebook, and I'm like, what was wrong with this episode?
Now,
Get to that, John. You just hold your pants.
now for the 5-year-old in the room that hasn't watched the show, and I need you to explain it to me, is the Bad Batch from that episode of the Clone Wars? Are they those guys that couldn't pass the test and then they ended up?
No. That was who was that? They went on
That
to
was
be
99.
99 and 5s and
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that wasn't.
no.
the
This
Bad
is
Batch?
this is different batch. So
Okay.
Bad Batch in the final season of the Clone Wars, the first 5 episodes I think are all basically an introduction to the Bad Batch, and these are Bad Batch are clones that they had certain attributes amplified. So like Hunter is
Hunter.
he's a hunter. He
Oh.
can track things and find things. You've got Crosshair, who's like a sniper and a crack shot. You've got Tech, who's
Donatello.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Sure, I'm not-
all very specialized. They didn't have probably the upbringing as the other clones.
Okay, so when I get to the final season of The Mandalorian, the first 5 episodes are kind of a backdoor pilot to the Bad Batch.
Yes.
Clone
Okay.
Wars, not
season of the Clone
Mandalorian.
Wars, yeah.
That's what I meant. Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yes. You'll see them, and then you can start watching the Bad Batch. But finish the Clone Wars first, because the final 4 episodes of the Clone War is like, I like that even better than the Mandalorian. I think that's one of those ones I've gone back and watched like those final 4 episodes like so many times. It's not even funny. I love that.
What amazes me about the Clone Wars is how, and it's not like overly violent, but it's like this was on Disney, and this was like kids watch this.
No, this wasn't. No, Clone
and
Wars was Cartoon Network. Sir.
Was it? I thought it was Disney.
No, because Clone Wars.
No,
happened-
season 7 was Disney,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
but
final
everything
season was
before that was Cartoon Network.
I was
the
like, 'cause-
season 1 through 5, and then the lost episodes. Because season 1 started in 2008, and Disney didn't acquire Star Wars until 2012. So the 6th season is what they used to call like the Lost missions, and that was like they had created all of these shows for a 6th season, and then Disney bought Star Wars, and they were like, okay, well, we can't do anything with these shows until we find out what Disney's going to do. So they threw them onto Blu-rays and said, here's the Lost missions.
You know, it's an interesting fact, though, just to go off track a little bit for 1 second, because I know you're kind of a baseball fan. You know, Ashley Eckstein is married to David Eckstein, the former Angels shortstop. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
Yeah, David Eckstein. He was like one of the most popular baseball players in Southern California for a bunch of years, and that's his wife. He married Ahsoka.
Wow.
Lucky guy.
Yeah. So anyway, Echo comes back. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. I watched this episode last night, and there was it sounds like they're going to try and go find where they're storing these clones, the prison camp, and we're going to go rescue our brothers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And in which case they could you had Crosshair tried to escape.
Well, he wasn't escaping. I think his main objective was to get that message out. Plan 88, the Seeker.
And it's interesting too, because you had the interrogation droid from A New Hope. So little Easter egg there. I'm sure everybody realized it, but even still, that was it was kind of some intense scenes, especially when it was like the droid moving in, and it was like that scene in Braveheart where they had him laying on the thing, and you knew what they were doing. They were cutting his intestines open, but all you saw was like his upper shoulders and head, and he's going, and it's like, oh, you know what's happening, but you can't see it, and that just makes it all that much more intense.
Yeah, it's like the scene it's the same as the scene from Reservoir Dogs, where it's like, he's cutting the guy's ear off. They're not showing it, but like it cuts away to like a window or something, but it kind of gives the same effect. You're like, oh God, that's not good. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great episode. And
what I thought.
Oh, go ahead.
What I thought was interesting was, I think she's a scientist or the creepy doctor's assistant. I think
she's a PA.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like that maybe she was having some second thoughts, especially when he said increase the injections and the camera kind of focuses on her, and she's just
she's the voice of reason, though. I think I don't know that I see her turning in any way, shape, or form, but the fact that she said he can't tell us anything if he's dead, and I mean, and honestly, I'm looking at him going, why do you think Crosshair knows? Why does he know where they are? They're running around the galaxy. He has no clue. It's not like he's got a homing beacon on their ship and he's tracking them. He just
no, but he does know that they work for Sid.
I don't know. I just look at it and think, you know what? What's the whole point of them asking him? He's not gonna know. So anyway,
but they're doing it to all the clones.
Yeah.
That they have in the prison. I bet you they're interrogating all of them, and what do you know? And they're doing everything they can to find Omega. So
Omega.
And I thought it was so sweet to see how the guys are doing on Pabu.
Yeah.
Or Pabu.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but they've acclimated to just being there and being part of the community. And
what was the phrase that one of them said was, have you thought of staying long term? Or what are your long term plans?
That was the mayor.
Yeah.
He goes, we're thinking about it.
Hey, you know what? If they finish off the Bad Batch after the third season, and that's where they finish them off, is at that place, I wouldn't complain like at all. So,
all right. So I have a question about the Bad Batch.
Sure.
As someone who hasn't watched it, but it's kind of a logical question. Why are they persecuting the clones if the clones are all going to die off in a couple of years anyway? Because aren't the clones rapidly aging? So why not just let them expire?
Because they still have with clones, they still have the they will expire, but it's still going to take time. I mean,
it's not fast enough.
Yeah, not fast enough, exactly. And I think too, with the idea of conscripts with the Empire, that's also more of a we're going to put our finger on you kind of thing, because we're going to come in and steal your men and take them away and make them troopers. And I think it's a form of control.
Oh,
so that's right. My thoughts. Whether I'm right or not,
because I thought they were all on I thought they were all on the same side anyway. So I mean, I was just like, why not let the obsolete ones die out like you would an old car and just keep moving?
Well, because at this point, of course, this is after Revenge of the Sith, and so at this point, the clones who have been following orders are starting to realize, and I don't know if it was this episode or the last episode where, I I think it was when Creepy Doctor was talking to Tarkin. Woohoo!
Yes, we had a
Um,
Tarkin sighting. So that was
you
this
know,
episode.
saying Tarkin was saying that, you know, the clones are starting to question their orders.
Right.
And so
they're
that's
starting to think they started off on the good guys side with, you know, the Jedi and fighting the good fight, and now that the Empire has taken over and everything's kind of shifted, they're like, did we make the right call with this whole Order 66 thing?
yeah, they're starting to see
And
the Empire's not what they thought it was.
and that makes sense, because even when you there's always been with the clones philosophical undertones, even with the Clone Wars. If they ever had a closing line or anything, I remember one that stuck out in my mind. It was, what purpose are we going to have when the war is over?
And
And
that's
there's always been a philosophical undertone with them whenever they actually had a light to shine on them.
That's been addressed once or twice in this series as well. You know, in fact, I think it was last episode, and they said, well, what do we do now? We're soldiers, you know. We don't know anything about settling down or anything like that. So we got 2 episodes left. I'm looking forward to both episodes. It's going to be it'll be fun.
And we also found out just a little bit of background on Hemlock, the Creepy Doctor. There towards the end, they showed that he used to work with Republic Science Corps, but he was kicked out for unauthorized and unorthodox experiments. So this is not his first rodeo in doing this kind of stuff.
He's very much taking the role of one of the Nazi doctors from World War II that were.
I was going to say, it's kind of like becoming an allegory for World War II.
So anxious to see where it goes. All right, John, we'll humor you. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian now. Because this episode, holy smokes. This
was a great episode, John. What is wrong with you?
I'm telling you, this was such
What
an
are you
emotional
talking
roller
about?
coaster.
I didn't say anything.
No, John.
No,
John
Biscardi.
John Biscardi.
Oh, I'm so used to Debbie yelling at me, I just, automatically took offense.
No, John
Only
Biscardi.
yelled once.
So this was an amazing episode. We've got Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. They're settling down with still the Children of the Way. Or not the Children of the Way. What was it?
Something-lings, not younglings.
No. It was. What do they call themselves?
Of the Watch.
Children of the Watch. Children of the Watch.
Thank you. Not the Way, the Watch. I knew it started with a W.
Why I'm here.
Thank you, Debbie.
Most of the time.
Children of the Watch, which I've seen, and I don't think we've brought it up on the show before, and I think we need to. The fact that in the Clone Wars, the pre-Vizsla had started Death Watch, Mandalorians that wanted to go back to their proper warrior heritage instead of being pacifists. And now we are dealing with the Children of the Watch, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's just a spinoff from the Death Watch, and we're watching the Death Watch reemerged kind of thing. So anyway.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to be if your whole planet's been eviscerated. Wouldn't you want to be the Death Watch? Like, I don't want to mess with the Death Watch. Like, not like, I don't want to mess. Yeah, let's attack Mandalore. Or, we're going to have to deal with the Death Watch.
Yeah. It's an intimidating name.
There's an issue with that because what's there on that planet now is just a bunch of ragtag misfits from all different kinds of sects and whatever. And so, some might be
But
all
wasn't
for
that?
the Death Watch, and others would be absolutely not.
Right.
So
But
yeah,
at the end of the day, wasn't that what the rebellion was in episodes 4, 5, and 6?
as far as
As far as a bunch of misfits and people that had different points of view, and I mean, so
yeah, but they had one focused.
they had one goal. The
One
okay,
goal. Yeah.
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
So anyway, we start off with the combat sequence. We'll just call it the I was reminded of that scene in Wayne's World where he says, "So what do you have planned?" And he opens up the door and there's all the people fighting and flamethrowers and all this. It's like, what are you going to do with these guys? And he says, "I don't know. I've just always wanted to open a door like in spy movies where people are training like ninjas." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's that scene! They're just standing around fighting each other. It's great."
That didn't click, and I looked at it and I was like, I've seen that somewhere. And now that you mention it, it's like, that's it. That's where
the
I saw that.
Yep. Got a lot of different fighting going on. You've got, again, we're really diving into this where Din Djarin is really teaching Grogu the way of the Mandalorian. I, honest to God, hope I need Grogu to be in a Mando helmet by the end of this series.
I think
is
it's
what
gonna.
I don't want to cover up his adorable face.
He's cute.
Debbie, it's called merchandising, and it'll sell. And mark my words, it will happen. His ears will be sticking out of it.
Sticking out. Yep. Yeah. It'll be a specialized helmet just for him.
Yeah, I've seen some concept art. I'm just like, no.
I have to say I love it, and I'm sure this is a mixed bag, but I liked how they used the puppetry to have him do that original spar and not CGI, and had him fly up in the air like a puppet.
So,
and then
okay,
backflip.
I've got a story about that one. When I spoke with Carl Weathers way back 2 years ago, we went and watched his panel.
Not to interrupt you, I think he directed this one.
He did.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that aside, one of the things that he said was that Favreau and Filoni were thinking about doing Grogu as a CGI character. And they had a little puppet, and they were playing with the puppet, and it looked good. It was one of those things where, yeah, it looks okay, it might work, but I think we're going to go CGI. And Werner Herzog, who played the client in the first 2 or 3 episodes, who was working for the Empire,
That's who that was. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, if you do not use a puppet, you are doing this all wrong. And so they used the puppet, and it worked, and it was so great. Now, when he was doing those flips with the little paintball gun, it was fun. It was like watching an episode of the Muppets where they're jumping around. It was like somebody was.
I know, but I loved it. It was like watching.
Great.
It was like watching Gizmo and Gremlins, like the first one. Like,
it was. But
I mean, I think Werner Herzog was right, because with puppets, and I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No,
with puppets, there's something about puppets where you can create more emotion in a scene.
Yeah.
You can create more drama, because it looks real.
Yeah.
And you can do the same emotional thing on a CGI creation, but deep down, it's fake. So it's not.
It's a cartoon. Basically.
It's a cartoon. With a puppet, it looks real, and you connect with it, even though it's a puppet. So,
and plus, the actual actors can react to it a lot better,
right?
Than reacting to
here's a tennis ball
piece
on
of green
stick.
tape on a stick.
Yeah, like the guy that played R2-D2, like you could have had that on remote control, but half of it was the guy like turning to C-3PO and putting his figurative arms up.
Yeah.
And like,
Kenny Baker, yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Baker. That's
rest
right.
his soul.
Yeah.
So I've met him before too.
Nice.
Anyway. Let me think. So come on. Come give me hugs quick. Say hi.
Yours too.
Night night. Go sleep. Okay. But yeah, okay. So I want to get back to the fighting sequence because was that the same kid that was attacked by
The crocodile.
the Darth Gator? Darth Gator. I heard
Darth
that the other day.
Vader.
I was like, it's great,
Yes.
Darth Gator. Okay, so he's I don't know. He seemed kind of full of him. They're like, oh, Grogu's gonna challenge him. He's like, no, he's not. This is no challenge. He's little. And they let him pick the weapon. And they pick these paintball
Darts.
dart.
They're
Yeah,
called darts.
darts. Yeah. And man, when he got shot that first time, when Grogu got shot the first time, and it hit him like square in the chest, and I was just like, ow. And then Grogu looked at Mando like, ow, that hurt. And then he did it again. And he's like, go ahead, just do what you got to do. And he flips. And on the second flip, he shoots him 3 times. Holy smokes.
Yoda fat.
We're going Yoda. We're going all Yoda on this thing.
He's Yoda fat.
Yeah, and then Ragnar, which is later in the show we learn that's his name, Ragnar. Yeah, he goes off to pout.
He goes out. This
Big
kid,
mistake, Ragnar.
this kid, I swear, has got the absolute worst luck. He gets attacked. He gets attacked by Darth Gator in the first episode, and then in this episode, he gets carried off by some bat pterodactyl thing.
It's a
Oh,
Shrike Hawk.
And
Okay.
From Legends.
and beat
That's
up
from Legends.
And-
more legends.
and beat up by a
And beat up by a little
by a
green thing.
1 foot frog.
No, he eats the frogs, but yes. Poor guy. I feel bad for him.
Yeah. See that's someone the Spartans would have been like, this isn't working out for you. Jump in the Sarlacc.
You're done. You're done. Just stop. You're killing me.
Look,
But he gets run off, or he doesn't get run off. He got carried off. Mando, Bo-Katan, and Paz Vizsla take a group of 3 or 4 more, and they're gonna. Well, 4 or 5 of them chased him with the jetpacks initially.
Mhm.
They were flying after him, and then they ran out of fuel. Then, of course, here comes Bo's gonna save the day and flies her starfighter and follows it around and basically finds out where it is.
yeah, she seems to be going all in on this, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she doesn't. She still. I mean, she removed her helmet in this one, but again, not in front of everybody. We'll get to that in a minute because that was good. That was a pretty good scene.
Well, I think you can remove it if no one's in the room.
If no one can see you is
Yeah.
what it boiled down to. But anyway, we did have this one scene with, and this is the scene that everybody's talking about, when the armorer takes Grogu back and says, we've got other things we need to talk about, and she's telling him the stories, and she's hammering the armor, and Grogu goes into a PTSD infused flashback, and we find out how Grogu escaped the temple. Grogu was in his little pod, and he was told to get out by 2 or 3 Jedi that were fighting. Let me tell you, this scene, when they started this one, I mean, goosebumps, and they started killing everybody, and I'm just like, no, not again! I'm seeing it all again. and then the one Jedi who saves him, I'm like, oh my God, it's Jar Jar Binks! What the crap is he doing here?
He's only a disguiser.
So Ahmed Best becomes the Jedi that pulled Grogu out of the temple. God bless him. We love you, Ahmed. If you want to come on the show, we'd love to talk to you.
Look, Ahmed, again, and the off chance you're watching this, much respect because you were put through the ringer. We know you had your problems. I'm not going to talk about them, but much respect to you going back to the franchise and doing something like
And
that.
thank you for it too.
Yeah.
Especially thank you for rescuing that little merchandising tool.
Well, I'm really glad that they made his character canon.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you guys know, but during shutdown COVID on YouTube, on the Disney YouTube channel, they had a Jedi challenge game show for kids.
Mm-hmm. I seem to
And
remember that.
Ahmad Best was the host, Kelleran Beck.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just so awesome that they brought that character into this show and made it canon. And yeah, it was just the best thing ever. Because when that door opened, I had to look twice because I was like, "Is that who I think it is?" it's him.
Ahmed Best.
Yeah,
And we get a real cool, intense chase scene through Coruscant.
Well, he's not bad with lightsabers. I mean, he was
No.
whipping those things around like nobody's business.
He's just tearing it up. Also, he says, "I'm taking you to some friends that can get you off planet," or whatever he was. But is this the same group of people that are working in Obi-Wan, do you suppose?
Well, they were Naboo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the ship was Naboo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nabooian.
I was like, that's peculiar.
What I want to know in that scene too is she gave him the armor.
Rondell.
Mhm.
Yeah, she gave him the armor, and he was wearing the chain link.
Right.
Didn't Luke? Wasn't that a choice? Like you get the chain link, or
Or
you
you
go
get
back?
the lightsaber. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was okay. So rolling back, Book of Boba Fett.
Sorry, I noticed.
No. You're fine.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett rolls back. Was the two episodes that were all about the Mandalorian? Was or I guess it was one episode, but basically the spear, if I'm remembering right, the spear was melted down and used to make. He said, I want to make something for Grogu. He took it to the armor. The armor said, "Okay, we can do this for you. What do you want?" He said, "I want something to protect him." And so she made the chainmail for him. And it's a Beskar chainmail. And basically he went to go give it to Grogu, but Grogu was running around with Luke. So he gave it to Ahsoka. Ahsoka gave it to Luke. And Luke used it and said, "Okay, look, Jedi, lightsaber, Mandalorian, protection. So take your pick, one or the other." And Grogu chose, obviously, the chainmail.
I read that scene differently. I'm sorry. I thought the chainmail was if he accepted it, he had to stay. I was way off. It's been a while since I saw that episode.
It was the lightsaber was actually Yoda's.
Mhm.
So anyway, all that aside, yes, that was
refusing my gifts, is he?
Huh?
Refusing my gifts, is he?
Yes. So again, that really is we get to see it again. It was something that, in fact, you got to see it even before she opened up his little cloak there, and I was like, "Oh, is he wearing the chainmail? Is he wearing that? Oh, that's kind of cool." And then, of course, she opened it. I'm like, "Ah, he is! I called it! Woohoo!" So anyway, a lot of fun there. Then we get to the hunting party, and they land. I thought the way that they climbed the mountain peaks was like, again, all of this has been amazing. All the aerial work, the camera work, the way that they're doing some of these stunts. They're using the line launchers to scale these rocks. It's like great. I'm loving it. Like I don't know that I'd want to go rock climbing in big heavy armor, but hey,
no,
whatever tosses your cookies.
My fat butt would be like, "Look, there's a ridge over there. I'm gonna go walk around.
I'm gonna take the long way around. I'll meet you guys up there.
I'll meet you up there. I think there's an ATV, and I'm gonna ride it. And yeah,
there might be a tram. I think there's a tram down there.
I see some skiers over there. I'm gonna see if there's a chairlift, and I'm just gonna ride that.
I'll be up there in a minute.
I'll be up there in a minute.
But also with this scene, you see a lot more of John Favreau as Pos Vizsla. We get a lot more interaction from him. He seems to have accepted Bo and Din Djarin back
At least for the moment.
for the moment. It didn't seem like he did in that last episode. It was almost like, oh, these guys. Well, and at least for the moment, and hold on, before we even get to any of that, well, just remember, at least for the moment, he trusts them. But I want to talk about the scene where they eat. So, and Bo asks, they're sitting around the campfire, they're waiting to go, they're going to climb the rocks in the morning, and they're passing out food. And Bo asks Din, she's like, how do you eat without taking your helmet off? He says, well, when you get your food, you go off somewhere else where nobody can see you, and you take your helmet off and you eat, and then you put it back on. And then she stands up to go away, and Pos stops her and says, no, you're leading the war party. You get the privilege of sitting by the fire. You get to sit by the fire. So again, that was another one of those scenes to where it's like, okay, for the moment, maybe he trusts her.
Maybe he trusts her, or maybe it's one of those things where it's going to be like, maybe she had more respect than she thought. And if she realized it, she wouldn't have been alone for so long. I mean, it might be. It's one of those things.
I'm still thinking she's trying to play this. I'm gonna retake Mandalore, and I really need an army to do it. And these guys are gonna fill that gap. I'm gonna reunite all of Mandalore, and we're gonna fill that gap. So anyway, what's next? They climb the mountains. They get up to the nest.
There's dinosaurs.
Or what did you call them? Nighthawks? Something Nighthawks?
Shrike Hawks.
Shrike Hawks.
If you notice, the armorer, before they went out on this hunt, Bo came back with her ship and told him where it was, and she said, "Pause. Take the Shrike Hawk team."
Oh, I missed that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, she says that. So yeah, that's what they are. They're Shrike Hawks.
Okay.
God, I can't talk tonight. Jesus.
It's okay.
It's all right. I can't talk for the majority of my day, so it's
we find out when they get up to the nest that this poor unfortunate child. Oh, looks like William's on. Hi, William. What's going on?
What's up, Will?
Poor guy. He's had a rough night.
Yeah. So we find out this poor unfortunate kid who has been attacked by Darth Gator and the Shrike Hawks is actually Pos Vizsla's son.
That sounds like a great name for a punk band, by the way.
What, Pos Vizsla?
Darth Gator and the Shrike Hawks.
Ooh, nice. I like it. So, Shrike Hawks, yes. And they get up to the nest. And this is one thing I didn't get. They get up to the nest. They say, okay, there's heat signatures over there. He lunges head first, and it's 3 babies. And they all come out at him. And then Mom shows back up. And Mom regurgitates this kid.
Oh, my God.
And I mean, he spit out, and I'm looking at it going, this has been at least 2 days now. That kid has been living in that animal for 2 days.
I memory hold that scene, and then you just totally just bought it all right back. And I was like, she projectile vomited a small child.
The thing for me is yeah, that was gross. It wasn't as gross as it could have been because there could have been a lot of slime and digestive juices. Yeah. So it wasn't quite as gross as it could have been.
But
Which
it was
I
still
personally would have liked to have seen, but
well. Forget the gross factor. How did that kid survive in that thing's stomach for 2 days?
How
maybe
did
it has like a special sack or something.
I mean, I know that
Boba
the-
Fett survived the pit?
yeah, and Mando he pressurized his helmet when they first landed on Mandalorian. Maybe
Look, it's Star Wars. There is selective survival skills. Darth Maul could get cut in half at the waist and become a Spider-Man.
yeah,
Qui-Gon Jinn, shot to the gut. You're not
dead.
going to make it, man.
Well, the thing is, it might have been a teaching, or she probably planned it as a teaching moment. Maybe she didn't swallow it all the way because she wanted to teach her babies to hunt.
To kill, to go for the kill
Right.
kind of thing.
Kind of like, what T-Rex did in I think it was Jurassic Park 2 with the babies,
Yeah.
It,
We need
he-
it. We
it
need
didn't
them.
kill.
We need it
but-
alive.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is kids are cruel. Even if they're Mandalorian kids, this kid's gonna go back to that compound. He's probably got like 7 nicknames now. They're
Yeah.
like, "What's up, bird turd? What's up, gator skater? What's up, like, what's up, dude that lost to a 1-foot frog?" Like, he's not gonna have any future. They should just send him off somewhere else.
But it's Pos Vizsla's son. He has
Yeah,
he has a name behind him.
You think Paz Vizslas is going to sit at breakfast and be like, "No, Vizslas loses to a 1-foot frog. You're no son of mine."
Well, I liked going back to the training session with the kids, and Ragnar says something about well, he's too young to fight, and then Mando says, what does he says?
Oh, Debbie's checking.
Oh
her out.
yeah, one does not speak unless one knows.
Right.
And then after the fight, Paz repeats that.
Yeah.
I think that could be used for many people.
One does not speak unless one knows. That might have to be one of my new catchphrases walking around. So anyway, they rescue the kid. They shoot the bird thing, the Shrike Hawk. I'll appease you, Debbie. They shoot the Shrike Hawk out of the air. They save the kid. Bo-Katan loses her pauldron, and that's the one on the shoulder, by the way, in case you didn't know. She loses the one like that, and the armor says, "Hey, we can replace it for you." Which, and this scene was rather interesting too. She says, "What do you want? Do you want the night owls back on there?" And she says, "No, I've got the night owls over here. Can I have the mythosaur over here?" She says, "Well, yeah, the mythosaur belongs to all of Mandalorians, so it's welcome anywhere." And then she hasn't told anybody, but she tells the armor, "Hey, I saw one." And the armor just kind of thinks, I don't know if she was blowing her off or if she was like, "Oh, you just saw a vision. I get that. We have visions." She's like, "No, I saw one." Yes, I know. I get it. No, I don't think you do. I literally saw one.
Yeah,
I mean,
in the living waters.
Yeah. I mean, it was 3 times she told him, "No, I saw one. It was real."
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the armor believed her.
That's a common trope, though, that was executed there. I mean, that's happened in a lot of things. It's happened in everything from The Simpsons to going forward. That's happened in the Twilight Zone. There's a gremlin out there. Sir, you're just scared. No, seriously, there's a gremlin out there tearing the plane apart. So I mean, it's an effective tool, but it's common, and if you know when to look for it, it's there.
Well, and I think too, it it speaks to the armor to where she is so ingrained in her belief system that she's willing to say, yes, you probably did see one, but in a vision. You didn't really see one. You just saw a vision of one, and that is helping you along. And Bo is very much, no, I literally saw one, and I don't know that the armor's not accepting of that,
Well,
or maybe she doesn't want to be accepting of that. I don't know.
one of the things that Star Wars has always been successful at from the first movie in 77 to now is both celebrating and also discounting religion.
Yeah.
And that always happens. Like it's saying you can have faith, but too much faith is a good thing. But also, if you relax on your faith, that's a bad thing. And that's a theme that goes throughout the whole Star Wars universe, books, movies, everything. Religion. And Lucas was very careful not to lean to which one. He kind of amalgated all of them.
I was going to say I've seen interviews where he said, there's a little bit of Judaism in there. There's some Christian in there. There's some Islam in there. There's some Hinduism in there. There's
I would probably say if
Buddhism.
one won out, it would be Buddhism, because that seems to be the one that drives the plot. But it's the sub plot of the series. Stop it! I'm right here. Chew your rope. The sub plot of the whole series is about faith.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like, if you notice, like the people that lose their faith tend to go a bad way. Darth Vader at the end of Jedi regained his faith. He got redeemed, and despite slaughtering children, ended up sitting next to Obi-Wan and Yobi in Ghostland. Yoda.
Still don't like Hayden Christensen in there, Debbie.
No, Sebastian Crenshaw got to be in there.
Yes.
Who? Crenshaw.
Not Crenshaw.
It's
Sebastian
Shaw.
Stan.
I thought it was Crenshaw. I thought it's Sebastian
No,
Shaw. That's
it's
it.
Sebastian Shaw.
Well, even so, he needs to be there.
No.
Yes.
That's how Luke saw him. Luke probably looked over there when it was redone and was like, "What's up, Yoda? What's up, Obi? What's up, young kid?"
And then Obi-Wan Kenobi probably looking at him going, how did you end up with a young body again? I'm stuck
Because
over here in
that's
this
the
old-
last time he was a truly good Jedi.
No, the last time he was a truly good Jedi was when he killed the Emperor by throwing him in a nuclear
and
reactor
saving his son.
and saving his son.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Well, then by that logic, he should have just remained bald and scarred.
Which he was.
Not as a ghost.
Not as a
Oh,
Force
not
ghost.
as a... All right, so fine. Then maybe Liam Neeson should have showed up like he looked like in Taken.
Oh, the conversations we get into. Anyway,
You will never change my mind.
you got a thing for Hayden.
Well, Debbie, if I agree
is
with
true.
you, if I agree with you, we're gonna both be wrong. So I just have to stick with this side of the story.
No, I'm right.
Okay, so did we miss anything in this episode, Debbie? Did we cover everything? This was a great.
No, just outside of the fact when Yoda, when Grogu was in with Grandma Armor, and he started having the flashbacks, and just I don't know how they did it with this puppet, but his expressions, you could just see he was so distressed. I mean, the frown, and he looked scared.
Yeah.
And I almost cried during that scene because I was like, oh God, here we go. And we'll probably get, I would assume there has to be another flashback because we still don't know where he goes.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
And is Killeran still alive? Because they both escaped.
Well, we know Quinlan Voss is still alive.
Yeah.
Based on Kenobi. Well, maybe not in this time frame, but he survived Order 66. So,
So
Um,
it would be nice to see Ahmed back in a bigger role. Maybe because in Obi-Wan or in Kenobi, the Kenobi series, like you were talking about, they had those tunnels where that's
Yeah.
how they were
the
smuggling kids out.
Underground Railroad or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe he is alive or was alive a lot longer than anybody knew and was helping other Jedi that had survived to smuggle who they could.
Yeah. All in all, a great episode again, an emotional roller coaster. It was funny, it was exciting, it was tearjerker, it invoked PTSD for those of us that remember seeing Order 66 on the big screen.
That should be the last time. unless they get caught before they totally escape.
So this was and it was a short episode too. It was only like 33 minutes, I think, 33, 34 minutes.
Yeah,
So
it was short.
It wasn't very long, but again,
it was short, but it had a lot of stuff in it.
It was short. There was a lot going on, and they did exactly what they've been doing. They told the story that they wanted to tell in the time given, and we don't have to add in a whole lot of, filler. Oh, we got to make it an hour long, so we got to add in 30 minutes worth of filler crap. It's like, no, just tell the story the way it is, and if it's short, it's short. If it's longer, it's longer. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Debbie,
good episode.
Selfless plugs.
As far as I know, I know I say this every Thursday, week. But tomorrow night I'll be on the Geek and I podcast. We will be discussing Star Trek Picard.
The last 3 episodes, right?
The last 3 episodes, yes. So I don't know how long this podcast will be. I don't know if we'll kind of.
You mean I'm gonna retaliate against John right now? You mean Star Trek pick another show?
Oh,
yeah. Take that, Mandalorian.
What? Picard has been so excellent this season. I wish the first 2 seasons had been this damn good because this is excellent Star Trek.
Did I hear something about Riker's going to get his own show?
Yeah, it was called Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
No, I hadn't heard anything about Riker.
I thought I heard something about Riker getting his show. Maybe I'm dreaming.
I'd watch it.
I bet you would. Jonathan Frakes is probably in your
he's a little bit lower, but yeah, he would probably be in the husband category.
He's in the harem.
Yes.
What if
you asshole.
I got it.
Yes, I have many in my harem.
What if you went to a bar and Jonathan Frakes was Indiana Jones's wingman?
Oh.
It'd still be Harrison Ford. I'm sorry. Harrison Ford will always be my number one. My number one.
Shameless plugs. John, what you got? I know you got a couple of good articles out right now.
Yeah, we've got a couple. One, I'm going to plug someone else first. Devin Stewart and Becky Rainwater, great friends at GNN, doing a huge promo on YouTube. Their cousin has hit hard times, battling cancer. They're doing a 12-hour stream. They're going to be looking for donations. They're going to be looking for support. Please watch. Give what you could. If they hit their goals, there's going to be giveaways. If they hit certain financial goals, Devin, if you've seen Devin, he has long locks of hair, shaving it all off in solidarity if he hits his financial goals. So tune in on the 25th for that 12-hour stream and just support. Cancer affects everybody, so just support.
I know they're doing Crash Bandicoot. Gosh, I forgot what.
Thank you. I didn't know what games they were doing. So yeah,
Crash Bandicoot was one of them.
Okay.
I think Banjo-Kazooie maybe.
Banjo-Kazooie.
And then they're having a group of people come on and do a Mario. If it's Mario Kart or Mario, 4-player Mario 3D Land. They're doing
So-
that.
Crash.
You could always tune in to their Twitch channel, twitch.tv /retro_and_wolf. They'll have more information there. You can, and they'll definitely be happy to contact you and let you know what they're doing and when. So please support this. It's a great cause. Moving on. We have a
I
couple-
do have their
Oh,
thing
oh,
post.
Debbie's got their thing.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've got their thing. At 8 a.m., Crash Bandicoot with Retro. At 12 p.m., Wolf is doing Spyro. At 3 p.m., Mario Block with Retro, Wolf, and Friends. And then at 6 p.m., they're doing Dungeons and Dragons Live. So
Not the movie. They're actually doing a they're actually doing a D&D campaign. I think
Yeah.
Becky is actually GM.
They have not contacted me, and I'm part of that campaign. So now I'm nervous.
Uh-oh.
dun, dun,
What's-
dun.
That's the 25th, so that would be Saturday. This coming Saturday.
It's coming Saturday. No, all right.
Yeah.
I get off early on Saturdays. I'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll just tell William I will be late to the gauntlet. It's for a good cause. Okay, so yeah, we have that going on, and then we have two articles up on the. We have many articles up on geeknewsnow.net worth looking at. Two I'm going to highlight. One I wrote about Kathleen Kennedy. There are a lot of misconceptions about Kathleen Kennedy, and I wanted to clear them up for Women's History Month. It's a great story. Lady came from a middle-class family. She worked her way up. She went to public high school, went to San Diego State University, which isn't by any means a bad school, but executives usually go to your Harvards, Yales, Princetons, and Stanfords. So she worked through that Ivy League and adjacent. So she went through that. She started off as a camera operator when she left college, and then worked her way up to being the head of two major studios, Amblin and the Kennedy Marshall Group, and then being the head of Lucasfilm. So the lady is an inspiration. If you have a daughter that is a woman you want to tell the story to, it's a good article. It's one of the pieces I'm the most proud of. I hope you read it. It's just her story. I had no idea going into it and doing the research that her story was that vast and that inspirational. So it's a really good story. And for all the detractors, before I move on to the next story, for all the detractors say Kennedy's trash, we need to fire her, she ruined Star Wars.
Ruined Star Wars.
Listen, I did not like the sequel trilogy, but if I'm the head of Disney and Kennedy says fan reception was mixed, but I earned you almost $5 billion, she would have a job for as long as I was there. She earned you $5 billion. She is not bad at her job.
Yeah.
So, you got to take that into account, and that's all I'm going to say about it. The next one is from a writer who, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but his last piece was The Women of Star Wars. And he goes through everything, like literally the women of Star Wars, the women that worked on it, the women that wrote, the women that co-directed, co-wrote, script supervisors, stars, everything. Guy's name is Jacob Mahady. It was the last article he wrote for us. It's an interesting piece. I suggest you go to the Geek News Now website and look at it. I tried to pull it up. It wouldn't pull up. I don't know if that's a technical thing on my end. I will talk to Dave G, when I get off the show and see if the article is, see if he can revive the link. But it's really interesting just to have him point out, not just like Carrie Fisher and Mon Mothma and everybody else,
Daisy Ridley
but the women that actually worked on the series. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting piece, and it's a shame the guy left us because the piece isn't bad. The piece isn't bad at all. And one more thing, If you live in the Washington, D.C., hey, I'm almost done. If you live in the Washington, D.C. area, that's Baltimore, Washington, D.C., I will be appearing, if my press pass clears, at AwesomeCon. There's going to be a lot of Star Wars themed guests at AwesomeCon. We have Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanner, Billy D. Williams. The list goes on and on. It's going to be a really fun time. If you can get tickets to it, come in, come say hi to me. I'll introduce myself. I'm very accessible. And I'm going to be just walking around, having a good time, and trying to get a good scoop. So June 16th through 18th, that is. So I will be at AwesomeCon as long as my press pass is clear. And anyone watching, you have anything you want to say, you have anything you want to talk to me about, or you simply just want to introduce yourself, I'll be there and I'll be hanging out and I'll be happy to talk to you. That's about it.
On that note, myself and Dave Gramillion will both be at Dallas Fan Expo in June. A lot of good people going to be there. Hayden Christensen's going to be there. Chevy Chase.
Damn it.
Rosario Dawson. They just announced, it's on the website right now. I'm actually looking at the website. Zachary Levi is going to be there. So Shazam will be there. Christina Ricci, the original Wednesday. Oh, wow. That's a new one. Danny Trejo's going to be there.
Oh, way to show me up, Dave.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Peter Weller, who played
RoboCop.
Yeah. Gabriel Luna from The Last of Us. Sean Gunn will be there. Vivian Blair, who played baby Princess Leia, little Princess Leia in the Obi-Wan series, will be there. Henry Winkler, Fonzie will be there. It's Charlie Cox, Daredevil's going to be there. So a lot of cool people. Dave and I will be there all 3 days. It's Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to be there all 3 days. It's going to be a heck of a weekend. Looking forward to it. You can come out. I'm going to be doing some live streams from there so we can show off some of the cosplay stuff and show what's going on. Y'all come out and hang out with us. We love seeing you guys. I'm going to see about maybe I can do a giveaway during one of my live streams just to see who's paying attention, that kind of
thing. I'm going to utilize the Twitter at mine and just let everybody know what's going on. And I'm going to be very interactive when I get there. So I don't know how much I'll be able to enjoy because I look at it, it's like I'm going to have to work every minute when I'm here because there's so much going on.
So you can find any of our articles, geeknewsnow.net. We're on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Just don't look up GNN. Look up Geek News Now. If you look up GNN, then it transfers you to some news site, which like an actual news site, not a geeky news site. So anyway, look up Geek News Now. Check us out on all the social media platforms. Hit the like and subscribe button, and that way you can be alerted when we do any of this stuff coming up. But for now, we will see you all next Thursday, where we will be discussing the next Mandalorian episode and the next Bad Batch episode. May the Force be with you, and we'll see you all next week.